agenda wasn't even there, he said.
You may have changed the filter at the top, or not necessarily the right month or year.
No.
I'm just
The whole thing was
saying.
blank.
I had it.
I did too. I was able to get there.
Thanks for letting us know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What provider were you using?
What,
Like Frontier.
Provider.
Comcast.
Right.
regretfully, Comcast.
Yeah.
For this.
No regret there.
But
We all
but we continue to give them more money every year for some reason.
And the service quality isn't improving?
Sure.
Are you able to get it now? Or can you see the agenda now?
I have bothered for 45 minutes.
Oh,
I mean, on your phone.
No,
times.
When I've had some.
Weird.
Getting ready. I'm getting two
Very
in
odd.
a row. Yay. Getting back to
Better.
crazy, you're getting back to
Better drugs, I don't know.
So at Orchard Hills, they were sitting there interpreting the governor's message from one side. And some recreational facilities that we might have to
The golf course.
build. Well,
You'll have to climb over the
Sounded
fence.
very Star Warsy.
is it- yeah, yeah. We did close our restaurant.
Yeah, I can understand that.
but
Not the golf course. There's a big difference between a gym and a golf
When
course.
you're out in the open area.
Yeah. Big difference.
Recreation.
I know it did. Facilities. So is that a building or is that?
Really hard to hear.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, you don't want to close the golf course. They closed all the ski areas for at least a week.
Did they?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're trying to figure it out.
You want to be able to post this there.
So weird with it being light out.
So 230 gig at 99.
There's a streaming cap. And I can't remember. Once you start, when you get to 90% of it per month, then they send you an email.
That you had to pay so much more if you want to keep going.
Or you can just buy another, subscribe to a higher rate. But we just started that because we just dumped cable not too long ago. So we're just figuring it out.
So you only have internet that goes on there. I can't look at what to do cable internet when I need internet because of my business. Gotta be able to. Yep.
No, yeah.
Hi, Jerry. How are you doing? Well, and then work. Can't wait to get home and see how that went. You're gonna have to maybe limit your device to one.
Right.
Wow, San Francisco City County moved to shelter in place. I'm not sure what that means.
What does it say?
6 San Francisco Bay Area counties are moved to shelter in place. I'll have to read that.
Basically means if you're homeless, you're gonna stay homeless. Right where you are.
Right where you are. In your car, in your boat, in your motorhome, in your tent, in your bush, on your bench. Sounds like Dr. Seuss.
last minute.
It's 7 p.m., time to call this meeting, regular meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Bernie, can I get roll call, please?
Hogan,
Here.
Burton,
Here.
Chaney,
Here.
Carter,
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
Smith is excused.
Thank you, Bernie. Before we get into public comments, I just want to make clarifying, Mayor McDonnell is on vacation somewhere on a plane between here and Europe, as I understand it. And I'm in my role as Mayor Pro-Tem. So we were going to move into the regular meeting agenda. First up is public comments. I ask if anyone has public comments that they come to the microphone, state their name and address for the record, and the timer will give you up to 3 minutes. Draw attention to the fact that the timer is at the end over here, and when it changes to red, the 3 minutes have arrived. Thank you.
Thanks. My name's Douglas Strabel. I live at 4307 Northwest Oregon Street in Camas. And I'm here for a couple of reasons. First, I've got some documents I want to enter into the record. Who takes those? Thank you. My comment is to address the fact that you have a consent agenda tonight that's being reviewed and processed on a time and on a day that does not allow community participation. As you can see, there's nobody here but me. And the reason I bring that up is because of what's on that consent agreement today, or the consent agenda. And the consent agenda totals almost $7 million. And that includes the Lake Road Everett roundabout authorization of $6 million plus. This should be done without the ability, should not be done without the ability to have community discussion. Because tonight, there's nobody here to talk about it. And I have also, to the document I turned in to you, is I've attached some next door comments today that Phil Williams posted, trying to make a lot of people aware of what was going on. I read them, I looked at them, I know most of it already, but again, I'll just come back to these two items that are on the consent agreement agenda for today, the $7 million plus. There's a lot of people in the city that do not really approve of the way that's being handled, the Lake Road Everett intersection. So that's it, that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else from the public have public comments? Okay, council, moving to the consent agenda. What would you do?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I would like to pull item I from the consent agenda and move to the regular agenda.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, we'll move item I, and it will move to the meeting items number C as in Charlie. And for the remainder of the consent agenda, minus item I.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved by Carter and seconded to move the consent agenda minus item I. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Non-agenda. Staff. Anyone need anything to clarify? Okay. Council. Starting on my left, Mr. Hogan, anything?
Nothing. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Carter.
Nothing, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Roberts?
I do. If I can find it here.
No pressure.
Here we go. So to the council and the public and everybody here today, Americans are fighters. We do what we have to do when we are attacked. We hunker down, we make the necessary sacrifices, as evidenced by the many wars that we've encountered throughout the years. As Americans, we offer ourselves to help in whatever way we can to get the job done. This virus that has crept upon us is an enemy. As a community, we intend to do whatever it takes to crush it. As a Camas City Council member, I believe I speak for all council members, we do not shrink back. Council members were elected by the citizens of Camas. With this comes a full measure of trust. Trust includes expectations from citizens for the council to work with diligence, to be good stewards with taxpayer money, and also stand up and say no when it's needed. The avenues at our disposal to conduct city business in the open are workshops and council meetings, where projects and items are discussed numerous times before voting. Many citizens are choosing to stay put in their homes until this enemy is defeated. This council will carry on with our sworn duty and continue to govern the city and protect its citizens according to Washington state law. We are all in this together, and together as our forefathers before us, we put our trust, faith, and hope in God alone, our creator and giver of life. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Burton?
Nothing else to add, thank you.
Mr. Chaney?
Just briefly, I know that you as Mayor Pro-Tem Mayor Pro-Tem may not be totally finished with your service to us, but I just wanted to thank you and compliment you on the energy and the effort and the focus that you've given to help not just the citizens of Camas, but the staff in terms of your input representing the council's perspectives. You've done a great job, and I know you're not done, but I want to thank you for what you've done so far, and I'm seeing nods down the dais here, so it's great.
I would make one comment in response. I wish my voice was doing as well as the rest of me. This bronchitis will not leave. Not contagious, but it sure is messing up my talking department. Thank you, Don. That means a lot to me. Okay, so next on the agenda is any mayor announcements. As Mayor Pro Tem, earlier this evening at workshop, council worked through our upcoming town hall meetings and agreed on some changes in formats and in some cases location. But we will continue at the schedule unless it needs to change due to technology issues that are still being worked out, and they will be virtual town halls later in March, and then one in April and one in May at current schedule. There will be no physical presence by the public at those meetings. Details will be forthcoming many times between now and then, I'm sure. Secondly, we've also agreed as a council that we will continue to have our regular workshops and our regular council meetings and come up with a better forum to include the ability for virtual communication and not need have public physical presence, but yet still meet the laws of the state of Washington as well as the needs of the community to be able to talk and listen to the counselors as they're doing their work. Details to follow on that. Please continue to follow our website for any other updates in both meetings and schedules and how to reach us, as it were. So with that, I have two proclamations that I get to probably, hopefully, finish on my voice, and that's not the end of my night. First proclamation. Whereas on February 21st, 2020, the Camas High School gymnastics team won the 2020 Washington State 4A Championship, and whereas this victory is the third championship win for the Camas High School gymnastics team, and whereas the members of the gymnastics team demonstrate the true meaning of teamwork by supporting each other during difficult times as well as during triumphs, and whereas the Camas High School team won the state championship in dominant fashion, beating the second place team by more than 5 points, and whereas the City of Camas desires to recognize the achievements of the Camas High School gymnastics team in being the first program in the school's history to attain 3 consecutive state titles, and to recognize the tremendous amount of hard work and dedication of these student athletes. Now, therefore, I, Greg Anderson, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Camas, do hereby proclaim March 16th through 20th, 2020 as Camas High School Gymnastics Team Appreciation Week. I'll sign that in a few minutes. Pardon me. Apologize. Water break. Second proclamation. Whereas C-Tran provides valued fixed route and paratransit services in Clark County that is safe and dependable, and whereas C-Tran travels nearly 6 million miles per year, the equivalent of going to the moon and back 12 times, and whereas C-Tran has been serving the community since 1981, currently providing over 6 million rides per year, and whereas C-Tran employees safely operate large vehicles every day in unpredictable traffic weather while offering exemplary customer service, maintaining facilities and equipment, and providing critical administrative support. And whereas C-Tran connects people to opportunities, supports economic vitality, and enhances quality of life for the community. And whereas C-Tran employees do their part in making our community the best place to live in the country. Now therefore, I, Greg Anderson, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Camas, in the State of Washington, here March 18th as Transit Employee Appreciation Day. I'm going to also add that I enjoy serving as the Camas representative on the C-Tran board. I'm in my 4th year of doing that, and I enjoy representing Camas on that board. And I'm going to enjoy signing that document for them to pick up, hopefully tomorrow, because they want to post it in their lunchroom on Wednesday. Okay. I think my voice is going to make it. We'll see. To our regular meeting items. Item A, Kathy?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Before you, Council, is Resolution Number 20-004, revising the 2020 fee schedule. This has 4 changes in it. It deletes fees for impact fee credits and adds an administrative fee. It has pass-through for some cemetery costs, updates for building fees, and solid waste costs moved from code to the fee schedule. I'd be happy to entertain any questions that you might have.
Council, any questions or discussion?
No.
No, we had a good discussion 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Any motions?
Mr. Pro Tem,
Yes.
I move that Resolution 20-004 be read by title only.
Second. It's been moved by Carter and seconded that Resolution 20-004 be read by title only. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Resolution number 20-004, a resolution revising the City of Camas fee schedule for 2020.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
I move that Resolution 20-004 be adopted.
Second. It's been moved by Carter and seconded that Resolution 20-004 be adopted. Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item B on the meeting items is Resolution 20-005, revising the procedural rules for conduct of city council meetings. Jennifer from the staff is not present this evening due to illness. I'm going to kind of talk through it with council. This is the resolution that's been before us, I think, 3, possibly 4 times for discussion listening to the public and consideration. And is there any discussion from my peers? Any motions on the resolution before us?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes?
I move that Resolution 20-005 be read by title only.
Second.
It's been moved by Carter and seconded that Resolution 20-005 be read by title only. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 20-005, a resolution adopting revised procedural rules for the conduct of city council meetings and workshops pursuant to RCW 35A.12.120.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
I move that Resolution 20-005 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved by Carter and seconded that Resolution 20-005 be adopted. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. That helps clarify things going forward. Appreciate letting it get more brought up to current processes as well. Okay, remaining item is number C, which was the former item on the consent agenda. Ms. Carter, you asked that it be pulled?
Yes. Due to the large amount that is being asked to approve in this bid, if Mr. Wall, could you please introduce this item?
Yes, I'd be happy to. So the Lake Road and Everett Street intersection improvement project, as council's aware, we've gone through an extensive process on the design and public outreach and selected a preferred alternative, and then recently have gone out to bid on that project to receive construction bids. The city received 5 bids from contractors in the area. We had an engineer's estimate of approximately $5.7 million, and the low bid was presented by Clark & Sons Excavating from Battleground, Washington, in the amount of $5,269,528.33. Staff has gone through and checked the bid and verified that the amounts were correct, and we would recommend that council award the project to Clark & Sons. And real quick, I think it's also worth covering the funding on the project. We were successful in receiving the $3.3 million in grant funding through the Transportation Improvement Board, and that'll vary a little bit based on the actual costs and the percentages of the actual construction, but that grant, they would like us to use that as quickly as possible. And then the remaining amount of the funding came from low-interest loans through the Public Works Trust Fund. And the interest rates on that were very favorable at 1.58% for a 20-year term. So the funding for the project is in place, and we are ready to proceed. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Council, any questions or comments?
Not that haven't
I would-
been asked.
I would like to just review the things I remember from the meetings. How many meetings have we had, Steve?
Public open house type meetings, to
Yeah.
clarify. There was 3 official meetings of the public, but it was brought up at multiple other occasions as well. That doesn't count city council meetings, for example, that were all public, and there were multiple discussions here at city council. It also came up at the North Shore sub-area plan meeting the first time and got quite a bit of discussion on it. And then we had 2 separate committees that were established that included citizens and tried to get additional feedback. We had the website that was available, and email and phone discussions among staff, so a lot of public input on it.
What I remember from the Washington State Department of Transportation were the following items. The safety improvements, 37% reduction in collisions were these roundabouts. The history has shown that that's a
standard, 75% reduction in injuries, 90% reduction in fatal collisions in roundabout intersections, a 40% reduction in pedestrian collisions in these types of roundabouts. It has the benefit of low travel speed that go through these, as opposed to red light intersections where people may try to beat a light and T-bone other cars. There's a one-way traffic flow to make it easier for people to get used to it and have less likelihood of an accident. There's reduced delay, and we do know that intersection in the morning and in the afternoon is a big delay spot in the city of Camas. And it has less maintenance costs because there are no lights. There's no electrical or signs or whatever that are associated with red light type of intersection. And so it meets the criteria that the Washington State Department of Transportation has put as the main criteria for the best use being a roundabout. So that's why I'm in favor of this, and I encourage the rest of you to vote yes for this too. So thank you, Steve.
Other council questions or comments?
Can you just remind us the comparative costs for those two new roundabouts down on Highway 14 in Washougal that just went in last summer? I was curious how they compare to this project, which is significantly more complex.
Yeah, and that is something to be aware of. So we do have a, excuse me, a cost comparison that is available on the website. The two roundabouts on SR 14 that were recently constructed, that was $4.4 million. And I believe that was actually for both of them, so $2.2 million each, I believe. But a lot of difference in the project area. When you look at the width and the kind of just the terrain that the projects occurred in, you know, the area that Lake and Everett's in is a lot more complex than most of the roundabouts that have gone in, including our own, you know, at 6th and Norwood, that was roughly $2 million for that roundabout in 2016. And then the area of improvement is much greater here compared to like 6th and Norwood, for example, where we're going up Lake Road to essentially the lodge. We're going south on Everett down to Fallen Leaf Lake. We're adding the pedestrian improvements and the sidewalks there. So it's just a different project, if you will, than just the intersection itself.
Thank you.
So, yep.
Other questions or comments?
Never miss an opportunity, I guess. I just need to say that I support this project for a number of reasons that have just been explained, but more prominently, how long's this been going, Steve, from the time we started the public process?
Well, it's actually, it depends on how far back you'd like to go, because there were prior efforts of the city planning documents that actually identified the intersection. So that goes back to the current TIF study that was done in 2011. And then we had another conversation with council about this exact project in the 2016 timeframe, and then the most current effort started in 2018. So.
Okay, thanks. From my experience, I've been with the city either as an employee or in this role as council for the last 12 or 13 years. I can remember no time where the city staff and the city government has vetted a project as thoroughly and as engaging with the public as this one has been. And I think it kind of, and hope that it sets a model for those ones that are big in the future for us as well. During that process, I recall questions. I recall some criticisms. I think I remember staff and council adapting to some of those things. But having said how much process this has gone through and how much support I heard as in my role as a council member, I can't do anything but support it. As a matter of fact, when I was leaving home tonight for this meeting, my neighbor waved me down and said, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to the council meeting." "What are you doing?" "Well," I said, "one of the things on the agenda tonight is the roundabout at the school." He said, "I went to all three of those meetings and I am 100% supportive of it." That was spontaneous. And this was a person who typically is pretty critical about how we spend our money. So coupled with the fact that we're getting support from other sources to pay for this, I see no other choice but to support it.
Thank you. Other questions or comments?
I just had one short one. Roundabouts are known to be economically wonderful. They're a time saver, they're a maintenance money saver. I lived in Europe for 11 years. Of course, there's roundabouts everywhere in Europe. And Camas citizens are no different from any other citizen in the world. It's a one-lane roundabout. It's not hard to maneuver. They'll be well marked, and really everything. Change takes time. I understand that. So just bear with us. This will be a good thing. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else for round two? I'll pass myself, so. Okay, any motions to consider?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
I move to approve.
Second.
We need to have a motion.
I move to approve
Move to
the,
award the bid
to award the bid.
to Clark and Sons Excavating.
I'll go back to the whole thing.
All right. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move to approve the bid to Clark and Sons Excavating, Inc. Want the whole amount?
On the Northeast Lake Road and North, go ahead. Yeah,
On the
whole thing.
Northeast Lake Road and Northeast Everett Street Improvement Project, up to 10% change over authorization in the amount of $5,269,528.33.
Second.
Been moved by Carter, seconded, to approve the bid award for $5,269,528.33 to Clark and Sons Excavating, Inc. for the Northeast Lake Road and Northeast Everett Street Improvements Project with up to 10% change order authorization. Any discussion? Further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all. We are now up to the second portion of public comments for the evening. Any member of the public wishes to come forward, state your name and address. I'll provide you up to 3 minutes on the digital timer at the end of the podium.
Hi, I'm back again, Douglas Strabel, and I want to bring up again the subject of the roundabout. This is the first time I've actually sat here and listened to this process. Do you realize how much money we're just authorizing to spend and how much of it actually comes out of the City of Camas budget? Can anybody tell me that number? Forget the grants, forget the, quote, free state or government money. How much is the City of Camas paying for this roundabout? Can somebody tell me that?
Our current adopted policy does not allow for citizen interaction.
I know.
During public comment.
And that's a real problem.
We can address your concerns in
And
a
that's a
different
real problem
forum.
because does everybody realize where the world and the United States and the state economy is going in the last month, what's gone on, what's happened? Does everybody think it's all the same? It's all going to be the same next week and the week after? It's not. You're being foolish, and I'm going to say that again. I know a lot about what's going on outside, and I guarantee you it's not the same. You maybe think it's the same in the city of Camas, but it's not going to be. A lot of money is going to get spent, and the revenue sources that everybody dreams about and talks about and all the great stuff that's going to happen. And if I hear the word tech jobs one more time in this county, I'm just going to probably give up. You authorized a 10% overrun on this contract, if I'm not mistaken. That's $500,000. Nobody has to come in and explain it. Nobody has to talk about it. Just $500,000, bang, out the door. I think you've got the same issue right now on the City Hall expansion. That started out at how many $100,000? And now it's pushing $1 million. Somebody's going to pay for this. The problem is the City of Camas people, the people that live here, are getting tired of this. Last thing I want to bring up is, quote, virtual meetings. I think that's a big mistake. Virtual meetings, Zoom video, my meeting and all this great stuff doesn't work very well. People want to talk to the representatives. They want to sit down with them. They want to meet them face to face. and council meetings and workshops being continued during the time that everything else is shut down. I mean, you shut the library down today. If it's not safe to go to the library, why are you having council meetings? Why do you have a workshop? Nobody's going to come. People are afraid to do anything. Why? Look at the city website. You got a picture of this big giant orange ball sitting there. If you want to scare people, you're doing a good job with that, but that's a big mistake. If you want to operate in the dark, you're doing a good job of it, because people don't get to participate. So I say the virtual meetings and council meetings being done when you don't have any public participation is a big mistake. I mean, there's nobody here except you and me, and you just are spending $7 million plus of the city's money. That's all I got. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else? Okay, close public comment section. Council is going to adjourn to executive session to discuss property acquisition in terms of RCW 4230.110 and potential litigation. Counselor, approximately how long?
25 minutes.
Thank you.
No decisions will be made.
And no decisions we made, and we are going into executive session.
Thanks for being here for this meeting tonight.
Thanks for keeping the peace.
Old guy stuff, you know?
I'm there with you, man. I'm there.
Thanks, Mitch.
All right, see ya. Hey, Greg. I sent this email to you and Alicia, but I've been going, like every week back and forth crazy emails. So I'm going to adopt the basic BPDC space, so change the switches, close the lobby. Just do any calls that can be done over the phone. That's pretty much it. Okay. I'll send those to you tomorrow. Okay, cool.
Oh, maybe he went to the bathroom.
Tell me he's locked out.
Oh, they're waiting for you.
I know. I call Bonnie Bernie. I call Ellen Helen. And I call somebody else Mr. Roberts or something tonight. It's been a mess.
I need him to come in and resume the meeting.
Yes.
You can't leave.
I'm not gonna leave. Just waiting for Greg.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be everybody. Oh, it's good.
We just can't lose a forum. Greg is special. Somebody might call it.
Oh, no, we're not gonna.
It works.
Sit down, wait.
Zero discussion of COVID-19. So we changed topics, our economy and present day.
You have to close out the meeting.
You tell me when, and I'll do the when.
Whatever.
Okay, the meeting is adjourned. At the end of the executive session, no action is taken.
Night.
Right, thank
Night
you.
all. Night. Wait a minute, I got homework? Man. Did you grab the one off Mayor's desk too, or is that another one I need?
That's a different one.
Thank you.
I didn't grab it yet.
Oh,
Present day, not what's past. Wait, did you get the third one?
This is like.
Ever.
Here you go, I signed this.
Here's the other one. Okay, thanks, Sean.
Yeah.
Enough excitement for one day.
Oh my goodness, what a day.
Show us what tomorrow will bring.
Tomorrow should be, tomorrow should be better.
Flexible. The key word from staff was today was flexible.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
You got these ones signed?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'll show it to you in a second.
all right. Have a good night.